responsible for what happens in the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. Right now, just backing off of any accountability because we invited two rowdy boys onto this fucking podcast, and I'm probably too tired to deal with them, but I'm willing to try. But anyway, here's an after dark for you, everybody here. There's 6 people here tonight. This is gonna be
did we start?
We did. What do you think? Who do you think I'm talking to? And what do you think I'm talking to? No one like this? I just addressed the mirror as a radio host.
We got Rage Against the Machine.
You're all figments of my imagination. I guess alone every week. Anyway, I'm Connor McGraw. The rest of you introduce yourselves. There's a angle of you.
Arlen Haro here as usual, and maybe not here for the rest of the show.
Oh, no, you better stay.
Yeah, fucking stay in here.
Why didn't we count down?
Have we ever counted down on your 5 appearances on this show?
There's never been a point where we're that organized.
No.
So when's Joe Rogan gonna get here?
No.
Hunter, you want to
Joe's coming? Joe Rogan?
Yeah. He was gonna ask us about drugs and things like that. Yeah.
He's gonna show us videos of monkeys.
Yeah.
Who else is here, motherfuckers?
It's America's
Prepare for
boyfriend, Hunter
trouble.
Davenport. Damn it, what the
And
fuck?
make it double.
I cannot think of a better metaphor than Team Rocket for you two appearing on this episode.
Jesus Christ.
All right, well, that was Hunter trying to introduce himself. I'm Eric Fedorchak, and I would like to take credit for masterminding this plan that's going on right now. So, Andy is, I cannot wait to hear this episode after it's done.
So this is a coup.
Because every 1 minute of this podcast, one of you will die.
All right, well, this could be the shortest episode ever.
No, excuse you, we're gonna go on without you.
That is just our podcast.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
No.
I'm Andy Sides. Welcome to my show.
Like it's something I said to. Oh, go ahead, Iz.
Oh, I'm me.
Yeah, the one who's not been on the show before.
You fucking.
I don't like talking about myself. You guys introduced me.
What the fuck?
We are asking you to say your name.
Yeah. It's fucked up, dude.
I have no labels. I am all-seeing, omniscient.
Good.
I'm Andy. That's Izza. Together we make ebony and ivory.
Yeah.
Had a pile of papers I'd be throwing in the air right now.
I don't know how many of you. I know Arlen has, but I don't know if the rest of you have ever seen the Chris Gethard show. There's an episode where Jason Mantzoukas and Paul Scheer came on. There's actually 2 episodes, and basically they just take over the whole show. And that was kind of my plan for having Andy and Iz on in the same show. So let's see what happens here, folks.
This will definitely be interesting.
Well, we're gonna divert expectations and just be quiet the rest of the show.
Just respectfully say things, and yeah.
No, we're not talking.
God damn it. God damn you both.
Just kidding.
You've already ruined that gimmick sufficiently. So.
Just kidding. Let's talk about Beirut.
All right, and starting now.
Andy, what do you think of that scene when Superman came back and he was all angry and he was like, "I'll make you bleed, brah." Damn, not even that.
I've only seen clips of Justice League, and it looks horrible.
Have you seen the great clip that the movie opens with where they're using a vertical cell phone?
Eric found the fucking key.
Yep.
Vertical cell phone footage.
They opened with the cell phone footage of his
it's vertical cell phone footage on my dude's fucking upper lip.
Like, hey, look, I never directed a movie. I never went to fucking film school, but like, I don't think that was the best way to open a blockbuster superhero franchise.
I don't know about you, but I have 2 teenage boys, and they would never think to record anything vertically. Like, no one who owns a phone would record anything vertically. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Zack Snyder? Like,
especially because the movie that it is, it's like, this is a big fucking, like, you know what I mean? It's a big thing. Like,
yeah, and like I could understand like being nervous, like, and you're seeing Superman and his weird upper lip, and like filming it vertically and then turning it horizontally. That would be an acceptable thing.
He thought I was gonna hide it. That's
So what a decision it was to open the movie with that ghastly upper lip. Like you didn't want to hold on to that for a little while and just kind of keep us,
I just wanted to get it out there, man.
And it wasn't like the first line for like these like snot-nosed kids that can barely talk.
Like, what do you like about being Superman? He's like, I don't know.
Not having to talk to you kids. Peace.
I wish there was an alternate version of that movie where it's just instead of Superman, it's Batman.
Where did it
and it's just,
happen?
Like, and it's Batman, and Batman's like, "Fuck off, kids."
Well, I mean, that Batman would have just punched him and then walked away.
I will brand you both and throw you in jail.
He's like, "I'm gonna get you all failed and get grass."
So I guess the question should go out, like, what's everybody been doing to keep themselves sane? I know we ask this every week that we record, but it's probably worth mentioning just to see if anything new
I
or
think-
interesting.
Fucking
Well-
Division 2. Holy shit. I did not know I would get so lost in that game.
Interesting.
I played the first one for a bit when it was free on Game Pass, but then I was just kind of like,
Well, I got this for $2, so like
Oh.
I go up from
Yeah.
there.
There you go.
And, like got to level 30 and the game was like, hey, guess what? The end game campaign is like an additional 20 hours of absolute insanity. Because you're invaded by some like military force who the president was assembling. He's like, thanks for cleaning up DC. Now I'm just taking over the place.
Isn't that the New York DLC?
Oh, that happens in DC. There is New York DLC though. There's two extra missions where the siege the Pentagon, and then I just fought through Coney Island in the other missions too. And just from a locational perspective, it's all really cool.
Is there like a Thanks Obama DLC?
no, but weird things happen to presidents in that game because I didn't know there's much of a story, but apparently there is. And I think in 2 games, you're on the 3rd president of the United States in 6 months.
Oh,
Nice. Nice.
First one dies of a heart attack. Second one kills himself, and the third one's like, "This isn't suspicious."
God,
How did
I
I get
wish.
here?
You know, yeah. I don't disagree.
does it get even more
Yeah.
ridiculous where like they were all brothers or something?
I wish. Like,
They're clones of each other.
it hasn't gotten quite like Air Force One levels of insane, but I'm hoping we get there.
If Air Force One is so good, why no Air Force? There is Air Force Two.
Did you get to the Steal the Declaration of Independence mission, Connor?
Yes. I also liberated like an enemy control point, and I picked up an item, and it said you acquired the Bill of Rights. I was like, what the fuck is it doing? Backpack. Like, what the
That
fuck?
game is so fucking goofy with that shit.
It's like,
How
you
many
know,
brown
you know
people
how-
did you incarcerate?
It's like press X to remove the right to vote from black people. Like, oh my
B to
God.
Neil.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
Well, I
But
guess
it's like
let's-
national treasure levels of craziness sometimes you go on a mission. It's, you have to take back the Statue of Liberty.
Shit.
One piece at a time.
You have to rebuild it.
Like Fortnite.
But other than that, I played some Mortal Kombat today because that DLC is coming out and kind of excited for. I'm kind of not.
What's the
and that's-
DLC?
It's called Aftermath. It's a story expansion. RoboCop, Fujin, Shiva, and
Katana.
Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
and finally Shaggy. No, stage fatalities and friendships.
Oh yeah, but the state fatalities and friendships are free. Like they're not directly part of the DLC. They're going to be included for free for anybody.
Should I
who beat
reinstall
update.
that?
The
No.
thing. Do you also have Injustice 2?
I do not.
You should just play that instead.
Yeah, get Injustice 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just.
I've had it for like
one.
months and haven't started it yet, but it's there.
No, it's
really good.
I feel like I only want to play against Connor in that because he's the big Flash guy. I just want to play Connor.
Oh
God,
no,
now?
Connor
Oh,
sucks
dude.
as Flash.
I've got. Wouldn't fucking know. Also, I have 4 years of playing that game on you, so if you want to just pick it up and fight, yeah, sure.
I'm not expecting to win. I just want to fight against you.
I am fully expecting to be. Outside of that, yeah, not much except for working and starting to develop an increased contempt for the general public.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
wait,
would have that.
you're just beginning to increase your.
I
general
was
confidence?
my optimism was steadfast until about a week and a half ago, and then I was like, "Fuck all these fucking people! God damn it, go
Look at
away!"
Look at this idiot. He still was fucking feeling good up until a week ago.
Faith in humanity. What a fucking loser.
You sweet
Look
summer
at this
child.
wheelchair guy.
Just kick him. Yeah. Izzo, what have you been playing or doing recently with your time?
I've been mostly
Jerking it.
well,
You
yeah,
got
yes,
him.
and
Cranking it.
Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, nice. How far are you in that
yeah.
so far?
I beat it.
Okay.
And it's pretty good.
The game is shockingly deep for a 2D brawler.
Did
They got
did any of you notice that the levels seem kind of short?
They are, but I think it's more like it's not. I think they're kind of like they're challenging. Where like if you rank up the difficulty, like the enemies will fucking destroy you. So you gotta like.
I've got something short for you.
I'm sorry. Also been playing No Man's Sky, Red Dead, a lot of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I on the No Man's Sky thing, I'd recently beat what was it? Journey to the Savage Planet. It was free on Game Pass. I mean, it's as Andy told me a long time ago. I got the bitch sis since I have Xbox One. So I don't know if anybody else is.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did. We were talking shit to each other about something, and I said something about having it for Xbox One.
It's just that like. You can't play Spider-Man.
This guy's got an Xbox One.
Listen, I've been to 2 console wars, all right? You wouldn't believe the shit I
Ooh, you fucking greenhorn! Good lord.
Memories like tears.
Things you people wouldn't believe.
The guy who had an Intellivision when he was a kid is keeping his mouth shut.
So you got a Specky, Eric? Did you have one as a kid?
No, I didn't have. No, I didn't have a ZX Spectrum. I had
Did you have a ColecoVision?
No, I didn't. That was too expensive at the time.
Did you have a Sega CD?
Yeah, I did.
Did you have an Apple II? That you could,
Can you tell me about all the FMV games you played?
Sewer Shark.
Oh my god, Sewer Shark.
Lethal Enforcers.
How many times did you play Night Trap?
Not that many, because I would get to near the very end and couldn't beat it. Like it didn't want to work because it was a bad
Did
game.
you watch
good.
out behind you?
You couldn't finish, and that was going to be an interesting topic.
Yeah, you couldn't finish. No, the problem is he did finish. That's why he can't finish.
Oh, me neither. I can't finish either.
Well, the problem was that Dana played.
I've never come.
Not even close.
If you think there's even a 1% chance that I take his absolute turn.
But yeah, I pretty much had everything since Intellivision on and off.
Mother was staunchly anti-Vita for a long time. So
I have a topic. So where's the remaster of Night Trap?
It's Dana Plato's dead, man. They can't bring it back.
No, they can reboot it. Get new people to reboot it. Like,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
it's
No,
a delightfully terrible idea.
no.
They re-released it, I guess.
VR now.
Yeah.
In
I mean,
VR? Holy shit.
VR Night
Just
Trap
make it survival horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, if you were fund this, I would direct this game.
I mean,
there was a Splatterhouse remake too, and it was kind of bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
but
the other
that's-
option is if Netflix is going to continue doing the choose your own adventure thing, if they did Night Trap and they did it really
God.
goofy, like
Fuck.
I'd be so in. Night Trap
Yeah.
2, just
Night Trap, starring Charlize Theron.
yes, yes.
She needs a paycheck. Why not?
She gets a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. Like,
There's a lot of good actors and get them all.
I mean, I guess
doing
right now
this
she does.
Like,
Tilda Swinton and
yeah.
Ow.
Oscar Isaac.
Get Gary Oldman in there because
Why not?
Scary. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he could. No, he could be the.
whitewash somebody. That'd be great.
Yeah, Gary Oldman could be the lead of the group that's there to put those weird
The
neck
cops.
cuffs around the vampires. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
that would
Yeah,
work.
it would be amazing.
Yeah. Andy, what have you been up to, man? God damn it, Andy. God damn
Andy,
it.
seriously?
It's gonna-
Well, I've just been watching the stuff.
I
What the fuck is
applaud-
up, Denny's?
I applaud
He's
your
back?
dedication. Oh, what? You were out? All right. Andy, what have you been doing recently, man?
Riveting. Fucking love it.
I've been playing Animal Crossing. I've been playing Call of Duty Warzone. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm like 120 hours into that game.
Really?
I haven't even picked
Yeah.
that up yet because I've just been kind of holding off.
Is it really
Um,
that long?
Well, I beat the main story at 55 hours. I'm just going through again.
Okay. Okay. So you're just
Hard
going through
mode.
and mopping everything up now.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really talk about what happens in that game.
No.
As spoilers.
I haven't finished it yet.
There's something that I seriously would talk about. And like, have you played that game Control?
Yes. That
I
game is
haven't,
amazing.
but it's kind of on my radar, especially with the
Oh,
Alan Wake
man.
connections that are in there.
Yes.
Just try it. I won't say anything about it, but just play it.
Like don't even worry about the Alan Wake connection. Like it is everything that's up your alley. Like
I've heard it also has weird comparisons to like the SCP Foundation, like all that kind
Yes.
of weird stuff.
No, that's
It's-
100%.
Oh no, they
very-
talked
it's-
about it. That's
uh,
basically what the game is.
super
It's the,
interesting.
it's the most fun, weirdest shit I've ever played. It was just really like interesting learning
Yeah,
about the shit.
Yeah, it's whatever that company's name is. The ones that did Max Payne and Quantum Break and all that.
Remedy.
Remedy.
Thank you.
Remedy.
Like
Read a
it's
book.
it's them. it's them like firing on all cylinders. Like it's got all of their great like story beats and everything like that, but they actually have like competent gameplay now too. Like it's just a perfect mix. But it's
I never
it's
touched
phenomenal.
Quantum Break, so I don't even know
Yeah,
what that
It's
is.
not worth it, trust me.
Don't do it.
Damn.
Don't do it. Yeah, it's not that good. Yeah. Even if it does have the guy who was in Fringe and was the concierge at the hotel in John Wick as
Lance Reddick.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Oh.
yeah. Like
It's weird
yeah.
seeing the what is it, the head of Remedy like pop up on screen from time to time. Like that's fucking Max Payne. Like what the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
and to have
Yeah.
his like very European voice come out of him, and he just doesn't
Yeah,
That's
look
the
very
thing.
threatening.
He's doing the Max Payne voice the whole time.
Oh my god,
Like,
is he?
Yeah. Whenever like the old whatever, not the commissioner.
Director.
No.
The
Listen,
director.
okay, so no, you're talking about Control. So the guy in Control is the guy who voiced Max Payne, and he's James McCaffrey. The
Mhm.
guy
Okay.
who looked like the Max Payne looked like in the first game. That wasn't who was doing the voice. That was the director.
Okay.
As
I
the
was
director of the game.
okay. I was getting
But they both,
things mixed up.
yeah, they're both separate entities.
But
Dr.
Dr.
Darling
Darling
is-
is Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
really?
heard it was
Yeah.
publicly stated
He's
they were
also
just
I'm sorry. He's also Will Scarlet in Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's a true fact.
second I was
I'm not
like-
making that up.
second I was like, wait, Christian Slater? No, wrong movie.
No. No. Oh, I guess Arlen, what have you been up to recently, man?
Lasting through all of Shudder, it seems.
a lot of Shudder. There was a day recently where I was watching just a bunch of it. Yeah, just horror movies, I guess. Odyssey. I don't know. I'm losing track of time really badly. I thought Wednesday was Saturday, so yeah.
Time's just a concept.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flat circle. Yeah, it's just been weird. I don't know. Of the horror movies I've been watching, I need to look at them all now because I cannot remember exactly which ones I've seen.
Well, that's not a
Um,
very resounding endorsement for anything you've watched, then, if you can't
No,
remember
not
anything.
yeah, not really. No. It might just be again that I'm going slowly insane, so none of them are that effective. Yeah,
You
there's-
staring at a
there's
blank
couple
screen for
cool
3
ones.
days. This movie's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. That's kind of what it's like. Okay, actually, here's one that I really want to talk about. I saw this over a week ago. It's called Deep Murder.
Excuse me, what was the name again? Deep Murder?
Deep Murder, and it's hard to describe this movie, which is why if you look up summaries of it, you'll be like, that doesn't sound that interesting. It's a slasher movie set in the world of a Cinemax softcore porno.
What?
Yes, like it's like you at first you think, okay, what's going to be like them on a set, right? They're going to break character and they're going to be like porn stars, like behind the scenes, and then occasionally they'll do scenes. No, it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit when you're in Toon World, but softcore porn. And one of them has gone crazy and is killing all these softcore porn characters. And it's one of my favorite movies that I've seen recently because the jokes are so good and unexpected, but it's also really scary in parts. So yeah, that's one that people should check out because the cast might scare some people away. It's Jerry O'Connell and Shooter from
I'm in.
Happy Gilmore.
I love Kangaroo Jack.
Yes, but it's also got Jesse Quick from Flash. She's one of the porn stars. She plays a softcore porn character who finds a library and reads all the books, and she becomes self-aware that they're in a porno.
What the fuck?
Did I write this in the future?
You might have, but it's really weird. They address so many like odd things about pornography, and internalized homophobia,
like
and well, like the whole
name one weird thing about
thing.
porn.
Not pedophilia. What's the word I'm thinking of? Incest. How incest is just like there.
Hey, those are two very different things, my dude.
Honestly, I think that's more telling about people that made that popular by requesting it and like making it popular.
It is, but at the same time, I think the companies are like, oh, that's what you want. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
So they're just damn it, Andy. So they just like so they've just gone like overboard and oversupplied so that like if you're looking on one of the mainstream adult sites, which we won't name here, it's just the first thing that you will see is tons of mom bangs sister or whatever, and so yeah, they address all that stuff and just all kinds of weird stuff about porn.
Anybody else think step bro is a weird name for a boyfriend?
Yeah, a little weird.
It's just the natural evolution of daddy.
Yes.
No.
I really don't think that's the case, Eric.
Listen, don't kink shame me.
No, do.
No, that's King Shame Eric right now. That's look through his entire search history and
Let's do it.
ask him about the porn that he's been watching.
I hacked a musical. Let's do it.
So I guess Hunter, what have you been up to, man?
I just moved and I've been playing a lot of PC Odyssey.
Big boy moved out.
Moved out of my parents' house finally.
Alert! Hunter is on the move. Alert, please.
Alert! On the move. What did you just share in the chat, Andy?
Daddy is happy.
Oh no! I don't know. So Hunter Odyssey, or what were you just gonna say? Actually,
yeah, Odyssey's great. Love that game. Yeah. I'm playing as Cassandra, and honestly, I thought it was gonna be a lot different than it is, but it's basically the same story.
It is, but it's just a better voice actor.
Yeah.
And it makes for more comical encounters when you have Cassandra just bone down on everything she can too.
Yes. Yeah. I'm playing. I strictly play this character as a fuck machine. So,
I mean, that's how you should play all games. Really, you should just be
exactly.
Yeah. Just...
yeah. What are you playing?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Make sure you level up your animal control ability so you can have a bear son with you the whole time.
That's a different genre. Bear son.
Yes.
Bear son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tame bears and have them come with you and help you fight. It's
Yeah,
great.
Sure can.
Fuck
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the
You
best.
can. Yeah, there's a lot of bears in that game. They're all over the place. They're just in the
Yeah.
in the forest,
Well, I mean,
foraging.
it is ancient Greece, so there's
Yeah.
there's
Yep.
a lot of
Bear
good stuff
City.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon a side story or side quest or whatever where it's just these two brothers that want to bone down on you real hard, and because I'm playing as Alexios, I was
Nice.
just like, yeah.
Gee, why you
Lots
say it
of-
like that?
I just think
He's
I don't know
he's
why
a horny boy.
I find it hilarious the way that they do sex in that game. It's very
Do sex.
Do the sex.
Do us.
the way that they bang.
Stein.
So, has anybody watched anything interesting other than Arlen's weird porn
Actually.
horror movie?
Actually, I watched a movie called In the Shadow of the Moon on Netflix. It's really good. Really cool sci-fi cop movie.
What's the
one.
premise?
I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, this cop kind of stops a killer, and
Mhm.
9 years later, he stops the killer by she dies, but then nine years later she appears again, and then it's
Yep.
some weird shit. I don't want to explain too much, but
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. My wife and I watched that randomly a couple months ago. Yeah,
I really
yeah,
liked it.
it was really cool. Like it actually followed through with a lot of the premise that I was curious about. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was great.
I
was very surprised by it. Yeah.
I watched that new WWE movie that came out on Netflix last night because
no.
I had been partying a little too hard, let's put it that way, and I thought it'd be really funny to do. And
Wait, you moved into your first apartment and you're partying really hard? I can't believe this.
yeah, I know,
Oh.
crazy, right? That movie sucks.
Really?
And what is the movie about again? I only barely caught it when you put it in the. Yeah.
It's a movie about a kid who finds a luchador mask that has special powers that turns him into a wrestler.
Sounds good so
essentially.
far. Sounds good so far.
But then Vince makes him a stereotype.
Here's the thing: he's clearly still a child, and then they let him wrestle grown adults.
Time for Rikishi. Same face.
It is the most impactful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, I'm sorry, but okay, I kind of have an idea of what that plays out because it's it's a kid, so they probably make it heartwarming and funny. But what if they put him in the attitude area and it's a kid with
So
the
what,
weird shit that happened in that?
he gives birth to a hand.
He gets hit by a mannequin head and it's oh no,
Assaulted by a big boss man. Just what a nice
the rock slams him on dog shit.
What the Undertaker throws him from the top of a steel cage and ends up having a tooth go through the top of his. Yeah.
And he comes he takes the mask off and he's just traumatized.
That's basically almost what happens.
Actually, it's good you mentioned the wrestling.
Does he get an overdose on heroin? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the next movie. That's the next movie.
No, he just ends up having a horrible drug problem and kills a valet from the 80s.
Oh,
no. No, a question actually I wanted to ask you guys. I was listening to Giant earlier this week, and somebody had written in saying that they had misread the Ballista from Doom Eternal as Batista, and they like the idea of a professional wrestler as a weapon in Doom Eternal. So with that in mind,
you just summoned Batista.
Exactly. Well, no, you use him as a weapon. With that in mind, which wrestler would you have as your weapon in Doom Eternal if you had the choice?
Chris Benoit.
What?
God damn it.
really effective.
He's already in hell.
Would he shoot dead children at people?
Oh no!
What the
God, Claire's not here for this.
Well, I was just thinking what would be good in hell. and it's just like, what better than somebody who's been there a while?
He knows the land.
God damn it.
Oh, wow.
Damn,
He knows his way around.
He works there.
That is the best answer I could have thought of, because the one I was going to say was New Jack, because that dude has done some shit and it wouldn't matter what, he would just do it.
I haven't watched wrestling recently, but I have seen a clip of this one guy. It was like Orange Cassidy. He's this really cool guy who has his hands in his pockets. Him, because they just be like, the demons are like, this guy's too cool, stay away. What is he gonna do? he's just standing there with his hands in his pocket, menacingly.
It's more the threat of what he could do, not what he actually does.
But he's too confident, and he has sunglasses, and he has no armor. Why is he so confident?
Yeah, it's the Hitchcock thing. It's the put the bomb under the table.
He keeps giving the demons thumbs ups. It's fucking weird.
The demon's like, I'm not playing that guy.
On the subject of things I heard on Giant Bomb, the other thing I heard on the same episode was that Activision, they were talking about whatnot they were offering employees help, mental health stuff, blah blah. But apparently Bobby Kotick accidentally gave his number out to people at Activision in an email.
Oh no!
So I'm kind of wondering if his phone number might be out there somewhere, and people need to start calling him and just asking him.
I need to call Bobby Kotick if I can.
You do.
And ask him if he ever seen the bottom of an avatar's foot.
I need to do it.
Spam.
That's probably the wrong guy, but I still don't think it's funny. That's kudos to that.
He'll probably like correct. It'll be fine.
It'd be funny to call him, but like call him a different name of a game developer. You know what I mean? Mr. Kojima.
Or just ask him how things are going over at THQ.
I was just about to bring that up.
Or you're like, hey, are you Bobby Kotick? He's like, yeah, you got my number. Just ask away. And he's like, hey, what's that guy who made Better Alive like?
Start calling him Gabe Newell and start asking about Half-Life.
Wait, I changed my answer. Booker T.
Has the Paladin Edward on his side.
Why did you change your answer to Booker T, Andy?
Isaiah already explained.
Demons are coming for you.
Icon said, "We coming for you." And then he follows up the rest of the line.
Yeah.
See, I also kind of like the idea of having Coco Beware as your weapon, because then you can just shoot parrots out at things.
Or what's that one guy? Fucking
$1 Million Man, so I can have as much money as I want.
the IMC, because he can just call them all the F word, the other F word. Demon. I can't say it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Anybody else have something to talk about?
I watched let me speak, okay? I recently rewatched Hereditary. I think the other day I watched Lost Highway. Rewatched Lost Highway. Movie still fucking rules.
Well, you better go find it.
And on Netflix a couple weeks ago, we watched The Platform and
How is that?
Kareem and Coffee.
Yeah,
I really liked
Coffee and
I really
Kareem,
liked
actually.
Coffee and Kareem. Fuck.
You done
The Platform
Fucking
is
canceled.
really good.
Yeah. Like, what
Um,
is the premise? Basically, what it looks like is that like upper levels get better things, and then the lower levels have to live off of.
So the way it's set up is, it reminded me very much of like Cube meets Snowpiercer.
Okay.
And the way it's set up is, there are a bunch of people in this prison, and it's different. All the cells or whatever are stacked on top of each other with a big pit in the middle,
Mhm.
and so you can see the people just right above you and like the cells like right below you,
Mhm.
and it's just one giant stack essentially, and 2 people per floor, and every day they whoever is in charge sends down a platform of food, and every person on the floor is allowed to take as much as they want. And it's like
So
every month, you and your
Celly.
cellmate will get changed to a random floor. So it plays. I mean, it's heavy-handed like socialism,
Fascism.
but it's really good, and like the way they utilize a single set is like spectacular for the whole movie. Because I mean, you just essentially see like the same cell set over and over again. And yeah, it's just them. I don't know, it goes in some really cool directions, and it's a Spanish film.
Okay.
I really liked it. The special effects are well done. I think it was really well directed. I mean, the reason I liken it to Cube is because it's like the same set over and over and over again.
Right.
Just used in different ways.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's kind of been in the periphery of things I want to watch, but there's just like, I mean, I still have Parasite I need to watch. I still have,
Oh man, that's a good one.
yeah, I know. It's something that like every time it's like I need to watch this, and then something else comes up. Same thing with Lighthouse. I just bought that like digitally for like $6 a couple of weeks ago.
That's a weird trip of a movie. I don't even want to say much, but it's just a fucking mind like a weird trip. It's like
platform a sequel to the 2012 hit film Lockout?
Yeah.
That's all I can think about when you're describing it.
Wow. Thanks for listening.
There's a movie I've seen that I really liked and I was surprised by, but you guys probably never heard of it. It's called Birds of Prey. But yeah, it's really good. Really good.
Wait, what's that?
Did that movie come out? Yeah.
You wouldn't know about it. Not a year ago.
Is that a small indie
It's
film?
very indie.
Yeah, very indie.
No, Andy, what did you think of is this your first time watching Hereditary?
Oh
He
no,
said
it
was a
was.
rewatch. Yeah.
I think it was my fourth.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're
It makes me fucking feel miserable.
So interesting. We both, because we did talk about this last time Andy was on here. Vaguely Hereditary. I don't dislike it on this rewatch.
Movie's great. What are you talking about?
You know my position was like, I'm not sure if I like it or dislike it. And
probably not for everyone.
Yeah, I'm firmly in the okay, that movie was fine. It wasn't bad. I can't like claim that Ari Aster is a bad director, or that he doesn't have some talent. He's very talented at just copying the plot of the Paranormal Activity movies. He's got that ability. But he's a very good director in terms of composition and technical stuff. I'm just not sure if I've really loved any of his movies yet. The experiences of seeing them in a theater with a crowd, that part I have enjoyed with both of them. Because the way people react to certain moments in both of those films, worth the admission, I would say. So, yeah.
I don't know. I've thoroughly enjoyed both of his films so far, so I can't.
No, sorry, I was talking to somebody else.
Oh, that's okay. No, I like Hereditary. Yeah, my wife and I probably watched that like 3 or 4 times at this point, and every time I've enjoyed it. Like it's terrible the things that go on in it, and like the way it makes you feel about most of these people isn't great, with the exception of the dad. Like he's just kind of a innocent schlub in the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. What's that?
Or is he? I haven't seen it. I've seen it somewhere, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't. Wait,
Oh.
you haven't seen Midsummer, or you haven't seen Hereditary?
No, I've seen Midsummer. I have not seen Hereditary. I've read the
Oh.
synopsis of it though.
I'm too much of a
Oh.
pansy to watch them.
Oh,
Oh,
so
Midsummer,
good.
Midsummer, I
Yeah.
think you could still. It's not as like scary as like there's no like monster, there's no like supernatural thing. It's just people, but it's
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
have
don't
a very weak stomach when it comes to like gore and stuff. So like,
but they're not.
yeah, that's fair.
It's not gory. Like there's maybe
What?
there's 2 scenes. No, I'm talking about
Eric, are you
Midsummer.
messing with him right now? Or are you?
No,
Are you being
Midsummer is
No,
not
he's
gory.
fucking with you, dude.
Yeah,
No.
it's,
Are you
Yes.
fucking kidding me?
No, man, that's not that bad. What, you see an old
Okay,
man with his head bashed
that's-
in? Yeah. Right, so what?
Hey,
Okay, you gotta
yeah.
remember,
don't spoil,
Eric.
but
Eric grew up with the Italian cannibal movies, so like
Yeah, like
it's like normie core shit.
yeah,
I
that's
can't even listen to the car door head bash scene from the first season of
oh
Daredevil.
well, no, Hereditary is a different level. Like Hereditary is horrific.
No,
Like,
I said in season 1 of Daredevil, the part where Kingpin
yeah,
smashes
the
that
Russian
dude's head in with the fucking
Well,
car
oh.
door.
Yeah, the sound is.
I can't even listen to that.
y'all are a bunch of pussies. What the fuck?
wow.
Like I said, I think Eric's.
I am
Eric's
what
from
I
a different
eat.
generation. Boomer.
We're not all married, okay?
Okay, boomer.
Give me a
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
break.
sorry. We didn't grow up with movies where people get impaled on spikes. Okay,
We didn't
Eric.
experience,
know.
we
Sorry.
didn't experience the agony of marriage, okay?
God damn.
You know,
I will say, Hot Fuzz kind of was the movie that ruined gore for me. Because like,
Interesting.
there's something about the shit that happens in that movie that just gets under my skin.
Is it-
Oh, hey,
It
the
does-
one
it
with
does.
the what's his
The
face
church?
near the end? Yeah, the church.
Yeah.
that gets me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that one's bad. That was real. That was something. Yikes.
That was real.
Yeah,
They
really
killed
cool
a
guy.
man.
Yes.
He had no
Yep.
idea.
Yeah, Pierce Bronson is not acting anymore. He was too
That's not
horrifically
Pierce
injured on set.
Bronson.
No, you've
Where's
mixed
McGraw?
up your Bond.
Oh,
Pierce
God damn it.
Brosnan is in.
God
He's in
damn
the
it.
third
Yeah.
one.
Timothy Dalton. you
Timothy
fucking-
Dalton, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
once
you-
again
you,
showing,
you
Yeah,
fucking
Eric.
simp. Read a
I'm
book.
showing my I'm
Yeah,
showing
Eric, if
my
you-
age.
If you like James Bond so much, what's your favorite James Bond, Eric?
Name all of his
Octopussy.
STDs.
Yeah, obviously that's the correct
No.
answer.
No.
No,
Whichever.
it's a bad film.
It's what
Um,
Moonraker. That's it.
Moonraker.
No.
Hot take. Not as bad as everybody says it is.
I can't really say because I enjoy every James Bond movie, even the shitty ones, because like I don't know, it's just a special thing. For me.
Yeah, I'm on the same page, but I can still I can theoretically critique them and be like, that's bad, but I will still watch all of them.
Yeah,
Over
I don't know.
and
What,
over.
I don't know what it is about James Bond. I would like accept that some of them are not that great, but I still like love them.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
James Bond, what's y'all's favorite Pierce Brosnan movie? Mine is The Rocketeer. You fucking idiot!
Yep.
It's Timothy Dalton.
I never
I like
said I
League
was
of
a smart
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
man. I never said I was a smart man.
he's like my favorite James Bond is Hugh Grant.
I like Donkey Randall. What was the movie? Isaiah, help me out. What was the movie? The last movie that Connery did? It was a shitty animated film.
Fuck.
Oh.
Like something Billy.
I know what movie this is. It's the one where he's like an old grandpa going on an adventure, and he's
Yeah, we're all gonna watch it right now. Red Zero.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the After Dark commentary on Sir Billy.
Sir Billy. That's what it's called.
Shut-
I'm so.
This movie
I'm
looks so bad.
It's so horrible, and I can't even bother to like. I don't even want to watch it because I feel like I'd.
I'm gonna post a frame of the film.
I've heard.
You think that
I've
movie
heard
made
the
him
voice-
retire?
Yeah, he was already retired, but they got him out of it because they held a gun to his children's head or something.
I think it was
Um,
because it was like a cultural Scottish thing that they kind of tricked him. And he's like, oh, you know.
Yeah,
Wow.
something
So he,
because
They tricked him.
I can't envision why Sean Connery would. Oh God.
And if you hear the sound, he sounds like he's dying. He sounds like he's on a respirator, and they're recording on it. My name is Sir Billy. It's just,
like
it's
that.
So
he just woke up.
There was some animated film that came out in like mid 2000s that had like Red Riding Hood, and I forget.
Oh, Hoodwinked.
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Like, that's what that animation looks like. Because like when I worked
Yes.
at a record store, like I remember I'd get that DVD, and on a regular basis, people trying to trade it in and be like, no, and that's oh God.
Those movies are horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't. What is even going on in that picture?
You know what it kind of looks like to me is like one of those shitty like iPhone games that get shit out on the store.
It's sad to like even just imagine that people worked on that. Somebody had to fucking produce that.
Yes.
Someone thought that this movie was going to be huge.
Yep. Oh God.
No.
Like somebody actually had to fucking like the people actually had to animate that as their job.
Yeah.
This was somebody.
People put their hearts and souls into
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh God, the extended cast. Alan Cumming as Gordon. I'm assuming it's Gordon the Goat.
He'll do anything.
If he's not, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, he doesn't have to. Let's see.
Do you really think that that Nightcrawler money is still that rich for him right now?
He does French stuff.
He's got that Spy Kids money.
Oh yeah, forgot
but
about
here's the thing,
that.
Eric. If you can do lead role in theater on Broadway, I mean, hey, you know.
I think French people just get paid to be French because like the world's like these French people. Like, hey, we gotta have somebody being French in the world. Pay them.
Yeah, but they've got Gerard Depardieu to do that. So
and Jean Reno, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
God.
Side note, just one little quick anecdote. I love how Jean-Claude Van Damme says "son of a bitch," like "son of the bitch." All right, continue.
Speaking of Jean-Claude Van Damme, you should definitely follow him on Instagram because he's hilarious.
I should.
Does he actually understand how much of a joke he was for the longest time?
No, that's the thing.
Okay.
Okay, look, I get that people do kind of see him as a joke, but he's a legit badass.
Yeah.
No, he is, but
he can kill all of us with one of his legs.
I mean, compared to Seagal,
Isaiah.
Well,
Isaiah, how hard could he kill us? Would you say?
So hard.
You're trying to compare like him to Seagal. That's unfair.
No, Steven Seagal's a joke. Steven Seagal's more of a joke.
Yeah, he is.
But here's the thing: that's his peer. That's like that's
yeah.
Yeah, but he's the king of improv.
I'd say that Steven Seagal would probably be. I mean, Steven Seagal's kind of a dick, and Jean-Claude Van Damme would probably be more nice. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Belgium, so.
Do you guys remember that Steven Seagal had that stupid like show where he was a cop?
Yeah.
Reality show.
Yeah.
So somebody uploaded clips because I didn't like watch it, but somebody uploaded clips of him. Every time he would talk to people of a specific ethnicity, he would like do that weird thing where he would. So if it was like a black person, he's like, "Hey, what's up, my brother?" But it's like,
no!
Why is he talking? And there was like an Asian person, and he was like doing like he would bow to them, and it's like, why are you bowing to those? And it was like a fan question. He's like,
wow!
Like he was doing like the weird like trying to endear to them, but it's. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, because that's the way it works. Instead of approaching someone like a person, let's just base them on their ethnicity. Good job.
Yeah,
good job. Well, he's the same dude who had his own energy drinks, if I remember correctly, and they prominently featured dragons and a lot of Asian typeface on them. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Also, he recently, past couple of years, since Trump was president, I think he's kind of a Trump supporter. I don't know loosely, but he's actually more of a Vladimir Putin supporter. Like,
yeah, he was in Russia,
and he was on TV, and he's like defending the criticism of Vladimir Putin, and he's like, and he pronounced it in such a weird way. He's like, Vladimir Putin, and he like did the whole Russian accent. I was like, why is he doing that? Like,
Here you go, guys. Here's pictures of his energy drinks.
Can we talk about Jamie Kennedy movies?
No,
Why?
we're not.
Wait, do you see what's at the top of that one energy drink? Asian experience.
No, that's
Dude.
not good at all. That's
You know, I was
Okay.
expecting insanity when I got back, and I am pleased. This is exactly what I expected.
Well, you missed the best question that Andy had the perfect answer for. Is that if you could have a professional wrestler as a weapon in Doom Eternal, what would it be? And Andy, what was your choice again?
First he said Chris
my
Benoit, but then he said,
Yeah, my first choice was Chris Benoit, because I figured he'd be a good guide in hell, because he's already been there for a hot minute. And then I changed my answer to Booker T.
because he was the power of the N-word.
Because I want to hear somebody call the icon of sin the N-word. Not me. Not me.
Andy, have you? So you know what I'm talking about. Hunter, you probably do too. Andy, have you ever seen a clip of Vince McMahon on WWE television saying the N-word to Booker T?
Yep.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No, Connor, it's even worse. It's to John Cena, and then Booker T sees him.
That's
do
right.
it.
So forget. I'm just gonna say it. So like, Vince walks up to John Cena after I
No,
can't
don't
remember
say
what
it.
set him up.
No,
He goes
Connor.
and he looks at John Cena and goes "sup," and then says it. Then turns around and Booker T is right there.
Yes,
And goes, "Tell me he didn't just say that."
I remember that. Yeah.
Why didn't Booker T break his neck right there?
Because when
He's
you're
I think
his
they all
boss.
were they all in on the
Because-
joke?
You gotta break your boss's
I mean,
neck.
probably
Yes.
was, but also like everyone in the
Bootlicker.
WWE who all the black people who work there have to like sing and dance for Vince as gimmicks. So
Yeah.
for the whole
All
fucking
the
thing.
ethnic people, yeah. It's like, hey, Tatanka, you're just only a Native American stereotype, and that's it. It's like,
Or
You're Japanese. We're going to dub you on TV.
hey,
Or
oh yeah,
even-
Japanese wrestler, you gotta be Yakuza.
or hey, Scott Hall, how about be a Spanish or Latin stereotype, even though your name is Scott?
he's Italian.
Exactly.
I think one of the worst instances was Muhammad Hassan was played by
Oh,
a
no.
Canadian guy.
Yep. Davari is also Canadian.
Is he really? Yeah, but I think but Davari has like has Middle Eastern descent. Like the guy
Yeah.
who played Muhammad Hassan is like really white.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought you said DeBarge, and I got excited.
Well,
their
yeah,
music.
the Barge. The DeBarge family should be a stable in wrestling.
Yes, they should be. They should be.
There's a lot of them.
So, so Connor, since you dipped out, yeah, I don't know what else you've really missed other than
You know, I can tell you what wrestler I would bring in
Fight.
Brock Lesnar. I would just stand there and he would just eat people.
I've,
He would just the demons would just fall down because they're getting paid to lose to him. To the script.
Scripts would say like demons win, and Brock's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I want to go home to Minnesota and you just
I want to unhinge my jaw and eat a whole
I know.
cow.
I know that like I know what Brock Lesnar talks like, but I like to picture him dumber in my head, like a cartoon. So he's just like, Brock win match, Brock won me. So like, okay, Brock, we're gonna get you.
Like you look at him and you expect him to sound like that, and then he talks, and you're like, oh my god, you sound like you're from Wisconsin. Like you're just.
What is
Too
that?
bad
Joe
he's
Rogan
not
quote?
from Minas.
What is that Joe Rogan quote where he's like, "I'm not afraid of Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of me. Or what it was like, I'm not afraid of Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of me. I'm more afraid of Brock Lesnar using me as a condom to fuck something bigger than him."
Yes, that's pretty much what he said.
Well, on that note, who would you be afraid of using you as a con? If you had to...
Anyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be in that situation, regardless of who's the catalyst for it.
Now, yeah, that's pretty intense.
I think, like with Brock, he's like, "It's gonna happen." You go, "Okay."
Brock was like, I don't use those. What's that?
Yeah, Brock's like, "What's a condom?"
Yeah. This is kind of like the human centipede situation. Like, which one do you want to be? Obviously the front. You want to be the front.
I want to
No.
be dead.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I want to be the failed part of the experiment
No,
that dies.
the front has too much responsibility.
Well, it's like having a family. You've got to provide
one
for the
way of
other
looking
two
at it, I
that are
guess.
connected to you.
Yeah, like a fucked up mother bird.
Oh, well, I mean the consistency of the
Jesus
food
Christ.
would be about the same. So
Brock Lesnar is actually the Minotaur from the maze in the Greek mythology.
Yeah.
All right,
Theseus
so
gets there and the Minotaur just- what?
So Jamie Kennedy's filmography is one of wonder. I
Yeah.
recently rewatched the film Kicking It Old School, and let me tell you, that movie
Mhm.
is so bad it's fun.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it fun?
yeah. Hey, absolutely. It's also super problematic now.
Yeah.
Aren't all Jamie Kennedy movies super problematic?
With a
It's
name
weird.
like
It's weird hearing Jamie Kennedy say the N word to
Oh,
Miguel
well,
Lewis.
he said it in Malibu's Most Wanted also.
no.
Oh God. Malibu's Most Wanted. Oh my
That
God.
movie's cringes.
No,
Fuck.
completely serious here. Does he actually drop
Yes.
the N-word?
He says it loudly in Malibu's Most Wanted. Like
Oh
the
god.
the joke,
my
the
God.
quote unquote joke of the scene is that he's in this club with all these like black people. It's like a hip hop club. He's like rapping, and they're kind of like, "Who's this white boy?" Whatever. That's the joke. But then he like in his lyrics he yells it, and he gets really quiet, and then like somebody has to like get him out of there because like it erupts into like a fucking chaos or whatever. But it's just like really dumb and cringe and like, why? Who wrote this?
So it's a less funny version of the Scary Movie 3 bit where he has his hood put on. It's pointy.
Yeah.
I want to know like who in the writers' room thought, yeah, this will be good. This will be good.
Probably
actually
Jamie
not even- it's not
Kennedy.
even like
Yeah,
it's not even
probably
original,
Jamie
like,
Kennedy.
He's sitting there pitching it. He's like, "Hey, get this. Imagine if a white guy says the N word around black people."
All right. So
never
all
been
right.
done
So now Isaiah's presented his Jamie Kennedy N word. I would like to present mine.
Yeah.
Attention class. Attention class. Hey class. So in that film, the plot of Kicking It Old School is a young breakdancer hits his head during a talent show and slips into a coma for 20 years. Waking up in 2006, he looks to revive his and his team's career with the help of his girlfriend and his parents.
I really thought you were saying he wakes up after a coma and thinks he's black.
No.
He always thought it was
He was a young boy, and Miguel Nunez was part of his team. You know, Joanna Man. And wakes up, and he's still his 10-year-old boy, but in Jamie Kennedy's adult body. And he meets back up with, you know, his friend Darnell, and Darnell says the N-word, you know, with the A at the end.
Mhm.
And then Jamie Kennedy, he's like, "What? That's a bad word. You can't say that." And then Darnell is like, "Nah, man, it's got a different meaning now. You know, you say it like this." Yeah. And then Jamie Kennedy says, "Oh, all right. Hey, Darnell, you're my..." And then he does it with a hard ER.
Oh my god.
Oh
What?
I like to imagine that Jamie Kennedy was like, you know, can we get another take on this?
I didn't see enough fire in his eyes when I said it. Can we do it again?
no. I was gonna ask jokingly if there was actually a hard ER edit, but
Oh, you know
Yeah.
they were.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There's a funny story about the So also Michael Rosenbaum is in that movie.
Yeah. I was about to say,
He's the villain.
of course
He's
he is.
delightful as the villain. He's pretty much playing Ben Affleck from Mallrats.
That's, yeah.
But him and Bobby Lee are both in it. And
Yeah, Bobby Lee, a real sign of strong cast.
so
Hey, man, fuck
Bobby
you.
is a treasure. He's a national treasure, all right?
would Michael
but-
Rosenbaum be the El Camino character in this movie?
What do you mean?
Nobody. Okay.
The
never mind.
Badger character?
No. Breaking. Come on. All right. Anyways,
Anyways,
No.
Michael Rosenbaum, he said he was on a set and when they were making this, and he says to Miguel Nunes, he's like, I don't think I'm gonna do another Jamie Kennedy movie. And Miguel Nunes said, man, I don't think Jamie Kennedy's gonna do another Jamie Kennedy movie.
Cut to Trimmer 6.
I hear that's good, and I don't believe anyone
All right,
tells
so
me.
Son of the Mask.
Oh no.
I haven't seen the original, but
Wait,
wait,
Son of the Mask is
Excuse
good.
me.
You stop right now. You have
Huh.
not seen The Mask?
No, I've seen Son of the Mask. That's like the
God.
same thing.
Damn it!
No, it's not. It's not remotely the same thing.
But there's
No.
but it's got that part where the baby, like on the ceiling.
Andy, stop.
That fucking
I don't think I've been.
And
really
Alan
disappointed
Cummings
in
is in it.
Here's the
So
thing.
you know
just
it's
put-
good.
You just put an image in of the only good part of that whole movie when he sings "I Love You, Baby." Everything else is awful in that movie. It's really bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's legitimately the worst movie I've ever seen, probably.
What about the part when the baby goes, "Mother"?
But like, oh yeah.
Did,
like, the
did you
baby
know that the
stuff is,
first,
like, eh.
the first movie is based on a graphic novel, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
I
you
have
can
I have the graphic novel.
you can get the digital version of the omnibus on
I
Amazon.
have
for
the
free
actual
right now.
mask with the magic powers
Yeah,
and
but
everything.
Jamie Kennedy isn't in the graphic novel, so why should I care?
Yeah, you know, I
Yawn.
hate to agree with Andy. He's right.
Let's talk about
Wait a minute.
the original The Mask, because the original Mask was going to be a horror movie. I kind of
Jim Carrey? Who cares?
Didn't the original have like a kind of cameo from Harvey Keitel at the end? Was that Harvey Keitel or is it somebody else?
How do you guys know?
No, I thought
might
it
have
was maybe no. Was it Son of the Mask? I tell
No, well, okay, at the end of the first one, because the bad guy's that one guy who's like, I can't remember his name, but he's kind of a shitty bad guy in a lot of movies. But
The bad guy in
he's
every movie he's in.
yeah,
Yeah.
but his boss is like some gangster, and his boss shows up at the end of the movie and like gets killed. But it's I thought it was some. It might not be Harvey Keitel. I gotta look it up.
Oh, I think you're thinking of Ben Stein.
No, I wish Ben
No,
Stein would get shot.
Yeah, for many reasons. I would.
Conservative
Bob
big bad
Hoskins. Bob Hoskins played
guy
Odin,
that
and
plays
Alan
Carl
Cummings played Loki.
His
Yeah.
name is Peter Green.
Here's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
this conversation bugs me is because, like, in 2 years, I guarantee Sean from Movie Dumpsters will be like, "Hey, let's watch a Jamie Kennedy movie," and it'll be Son of the Mask, or it'll be fucking
Kicking
like
it old school.
Yes, and I'll
Bible
look back on this day
Wanted.
and go, Ugh.
And he
At
was a
least-
real
at least you're
pioneer.
aware- You're aware of what you're getting into.
I'm a
mean, like-
fucking pioneer.
He kind of. It's funny thing is, like, Pluto Nash was the movie that made us decide, like, all right, no more of these. More of
Yeah.
these big, giant, well-known bad movies, because that movie is almost unwatchable.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Romeo plus Juliet.
I don't even know what that is.
The
That's
uh,
the
Baz
Baz
Luhrmann
Luhrmann.
film.
Lives in that movie. Oh my
You
god.
will.
Oh wait, the DiCaprio one?
Yeah.
I've seen clips of that, and I laughed at every scene I saw.
It's a weird movie, but I don't think it's like,
Enemy of the State.
No, it's not a bad
Freaking-
like film adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. Like it's
it's just
dated
great.
at this point.
And
Whoa.
you're
This
doing
actually
a bit
is looks
on
like
the show before, but you're doing it better than anybody else ever has.
what?
The reading of an entire person's
you're
character
unconsciously like conjuring up something that actually happened at this show for a long time.
Yeah.
But
You're drinking up
again,
bad memories.
it's horrible.
A former host would often get lost in the weeds and just start reading off someone's like Wikipedia like filmography and just keep going for 10 minutes.
A host that, let's say you have a history with. We'll put it that way.
Hey, I've been in here while he's done it. I know who you're talking about.
listen here. Listen,
I
here,
wanna
Arlen,
say-
we're gonna leave these guys and elope. Let's do it.
I honestly, honest to God, like stepping out of the Jamie Kennedy bit, this actually looks like a good movie.
Which one?
Three Kings.
That's a good movie. I
Uh,
really,
Yeah,
I
Three Kings
enjoyed
is
that.
really good.
Oh, the one with George Clooney and Ice Cube and Spike Jones.
Yeah, Jimmy
Yeah.
Kennedy is like an afterthought in that. He's just a dumb ass character in that. He's
Yeah,
not
no,
really-
that movie's great. Like that movie is really, really good. And apparently George Clooney
Yeah.
almost beat the hell out of the director.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
They
Yeah.
got into a fight. Yeah.
I'm looking at his upcoming projects, and there's a movie
Oh, no.
he's in that's called Roe versus Wade, and I'm so not excited.
Oh no.
Jamie
What?
Kennedy.
I'm
No.
very excited for that.
Hey, Jamie Kennedy or George Clooney?
Ooh, Jamie Kennedy.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
Tell me
Why?
he's
Oh.
playing like a pro-abortion lawyer or something.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yes.
Please tell me he's the one that
Yes.
gets aborted.
He's a grown ass man. They're like, we got to do it.
It's the law now.
What?
Wait,
What
What
his-
else
if,
we can do?
His,
Oh,
his
it's
Twitter
parents-
is your-
5.
his
what if
parents
Jamie
might have
Kennedy
a
was one of your
300
listeners? And he's like, "Hey, what? They got a new episode," and he like checks it out next week, and he's like, "What? What?"
His parents want to have a 390th trimester abortion.
By fire.
Alex Jones is losing his fucking mind the whole time in the background.
Can we fucking stop talking about Jamie Kennedy?
You're
This
the one
whole
who brought
fucking
it up,
show,
motherfucker.
God.
Okay,
Listen,
listen,
I wanted
let's
to
talk
talk about
about-
a different movie called The
talk about-
Dentist. Throwing it over to you, Isaiah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we should bring that up. So I don't remember too much, but I remember horrible scenes that I've seen. But this movie called The Dentist, like I was a kid one time, and like me and my brother and sister would like share TV because we're poor. So we're watching TV and we just like flip through channels, and then some reason like I don't know if it's my sister or brother, just like, oh, this is like my sister like horror movies, so it probably was her. So I was like, oh, this movie called The Dentist, and like we're watching it, and I'm like, what the? I didn't say that, but I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Where it's like Corbin Burnson, scary old white man, and is like fucking up people's teeth and doing horrible shit to them. And it's like I had a phobia of dentists for a while. So I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah,
Am I remembering it correctly? Is there a scene where he has somebody under anesthesia and he rapes a woman?
Holy,
I don't
hey,
know,
guys! Corbin Burnson, also in the upcoming Roe v. Wade movie.
Okay, yeah, here's the thing.
it's pretty full circle.
Being serious, I'm looking at it. Jamie Kennedy actually got himself a good role. He's playing the guy who was pro-abortion, so that's not actually a bad choice for him. But this cast is insanity. Steve Guttenberg, Robert Davi, John Voight.
Wait, you guys don't even believe this? Our podcast sponsor today is Roe v. Wade. Upcoming. I'm kidding.
Arlen, you say all those names, but it's not like it's like, oh, I can't wait to see that movie. That guy.
No,
Like it's
here's
more
the
like,
thing.
oh,
Reading them off,
that
I'm
guy.
realizing these are all people who have revealed themselves to be shitty conservatives on the James Woods level. Not quite that
Oh,
level.
so Kevin Sorbo's also in it then.
Oh,
Dean Cain is Dean Cain the fucking
Stacy Bash.
Like, here's the thing: this movie is probably anti-abortion. Wow.
Oh no!
And they put Jamie Kennedy in here because to make
him look
God.
silly. The problem is not it might be a good
connect with
movie.
those youngsters.
Yeah. The problem is not that it might be a good movie. The problem is we just talked about a movie in which Jamie Kennedy loudly says the N-word. And he's immediately saying he's going to be in a Roe versus Wade movie.
Yeah, he's gonna yell out abortion or something.
It sounded like that.
Why do I see this going the way of that one Greg Kinnear movie where he invents the windshield wiper?
I don't know. Is that a thing?
what?
Yeah, he's also in a movie. He's also in a movie where he has a daughter or a son who's talking to God, because apparently nobody wants to give him other movies that he can be in. Then,
So we're all gonna watch God's Not Dead and the sequel, right? Right now.
yeah.
What are those movies about? Like I've seen,
I think they're like some conservative kind of movies where it's like, oh, like it's so popular for people to not believe in God anymore. And then there's one teacher, a professor, or whatever, at college, his students are like kind of these young liberal like atheists, and they're like questioning the existence of God, and then the teacher gets fed up, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna prove that God's not dead. It's like,
College philosophy professor Mr. Radisson's curriculum is challenged by his new student Josh, who believes God exists.
What?
Is this make for the fucking Hallmark Channel?
That's just fucking every single fucking philosophy class.
yeah. They were like,
Well, I
we
mean,
gotta
and this-
show these kids that God's real.
Oh,
sounds like
dude,
it's
Kevin
walking-
Sorbo, Dean Kane,
Of course.
one of the Duck Dynasty guys.
Oh, no.
One of the Duck Dynasty guys' wife.
Oh, God, no.
This is everyone I expected to be in, but also nobody I expected to be.
So-
There are too many Asians in this. I don't feel good.
So basically,
Oh,
this
wait a minute.
is-
I'm sorry. I don't mean to derail anything, but there's a movie that we have to talk about, and I can't remember the title exactly, but it's a very. I don't even know. Like, I'll let you decide for yourself, but it's.
Oh, she's cute.
Hold on. I gotta find the title. You guys keep talking, but in a minute, get back to me.
So God's Not Dead. Basically, it sounds like the cast that's going to all have COVID in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they
Yes.
already have it.
Who can
Oh,
say?
They're hosting COVID parties because
Well, I mean, if
they
it's
think that's a
anything,
good idea.
if it's anything like Trump's inner circle right now, they'll get it soon too. So.
Listen, with God's protection.
Seems to really want Mike Pence to have COVID.
Oh yeah, I hope he does. One of his aides has it, and
Yep, and that
And
fucking walking scarecrow wife has it, which makes me so
And
happy.
also Ivanka Trump's one of Ivanka Trump's personal assistants has it. So it's like, hey, you know,
Yep.
it's horrible to wish death on people, but get on that COVID.
So let's do a quick timetable here. Like, wasn't it like 2 weeks ago that Pence was in a Mayo clinic and he didn't have a mask on, and people were like, "Hey,"
Mhm.
he's like, "No, I'm good. I got that cocaine to fucking go through my blood."
He walked in the Mayo Clinic, like, where's that Mayo, baby? And they're like,
Listen,
"Sir."
he's bathed in the blood of Christ, guys. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
It's I love the fact that I can't remember the guy's name, but he's that terrible asshole who basically was helping to spearhead like putting kids in cages and was against immigration, and he's
Joe Biden?
from no.
You know, I don't want to get into politics, but I have a lot of strong opinions about things now. But you know what? We'll not
Well,
do
which old rapist do you want to have in the presidency?
that. I mean, it's a hard choice.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So you're in a show which ended one of its episodes with like, "Hey, if you're a Nazi, subscribe and then kill yourself."
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
I would just
it's,
like to direct everybody to
Mhm.
one of my Facebook statuses a couple weeks ago. I really got into it with some dude.
Oh, that asshole. I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, offering his unsolicited white guy opinion about how
Yeah.
we need to vote for George or
Oh,
for,
Hey,
God.
Alex,
for
Alex
Biden.
McFry, if you're listening to this, off my nuts.
Wow. Oh, he's not
So,
listening.
Alex,
I guarantee he's
Alex,
not
if I see you in the streets, getting fucked up, my guy.
God, that fucking honky.
Yeah, he pulled the typical bullshit, which is like, well, I have this entire reign of diarrhea speak that I need to talk about. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
dip out before anybody can
Can I-
prove me wrong.
My problem
Mhm.
though is that, like, you know, the internet, you might argue with people, whatever. Like, my problem is not even that, like, some people might have shitty opinions. Is that, like, they're so entitled to, like, oh, you're not even engaging with the polite debate with me.
No.
It's like, I don't owe you shit. I don't owe you a
No.
fucking debate.
No,
That's
No.
the Ben Shapiro attitude of like, I challenge you to a debate,
Mhm.
therefore you must accept and must do it on my terms.
And if it's like, oh, you're gonna resort to just insulting me? I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
My big
Yeah.
deal was when he
Yeah, if you're-
this is really something he does a lot. He brought up the fact that he was gay as like a sign that
Mhm.
you should listen to him, like as if that's some sort of like password, and it was.
Mm.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's like the thing where it's like, oh, like, see, I'm also oppressed, so I can't be wrong, or I don't know.
Yeah, let me in the club.
if your stance on something is inherently incorrect or offends me, fuck you. I'm not engaging you with debate. Like,
Mhm.
no, you're
Oh
done.
no, magic isn't real, guys.
It is, yeah.
Oh, this is fun. All right, so magic.
It's not real.
The character
Yeah,
from
magic
New
isn't real.
Mutants.
No, listen, you're all wrong. Magic was real. It's not real anymore because Doctor Strange He was
Yeah.
connected
Oh,
to
yeah,
some
yeah.
magic, and he died.
And Baron Mordo is going around killing anybody who still has
Yes.
magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic is real, and it's the sun I see in your eyes every single time I look at you.
Oh.
Oh, oh, you're making me all turgid.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Davenport is real, and he is American.
do not be alarmed.
Don't be alarmed.
You're turning into something gaudy.
He's just swinging that big blue dick everywhere.
So is this him like calmly walking out of his house?
Wait. Does that mean Hunter Davenport is also a black man now?
But
I mean, wasn't he always?
Spoilers. Fucking
was the other
spoilers.
So, I mean,
I haven't watched it yet.
well,
Have you guys
I'm
not
just
seen the pictures of?
okay,
have you guys not
Andy,
seen the pictures
you
of
should have watched
Hunter?
it by now.
Have you
Wait,
guys not
what's
seen
that
the
I
pictures
say?
of Hunter Davenport in gym class in high school with throwing up the Black Power fist? Come on.
yeah, no, I buried those pictures.
Wasn't his uncle at the '63 Olympics? His fist
Yeah.
bump thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know that.
So, anyways, I'm running for Prime Minister of Canada.
Damn.
Damn. Justin
Oh, you got
Trudeau, better look
blackface
out.
pictures?
Oh.
Don't we all?
Damn.
We've all been there. Right
Just
now,
read
I'm
an
kidding.
I just read an article today about how Bollywood is now suddenly getting in trouble because they've been doing blackface for years and people caught on to it, and they're like,
you know,
"It's wrong."
what's the weird thing about that is that, like, I think a lot of black people will kind of like accept that Indians are kind of black people, but at the same time they're not. It's like a weird middle ground where it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're brown,
and
and some of them are very brown skinned, so it's like they're kind of black people. But
Then I read
not-
why they do it, and they do it to separate status and class in the film, and I'm like, ooh.
colorism.
Yeah, there's a lot of colorism going on over there.
I
Yeah.
mean, even if you look at like anime from the '80s, like they
boy.
definitely
Oh,
had
yeah.
some
No.
they had some issues with.
You're telling me
representation of,
Mr.
black people.
Popo's design is not suspicious?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like there's so many
Well,
of them.
hold on. The Mr. Popo thing,
Hmm.
I can't entirely get on board with that being racist because you do see actual black people within the Dragon Ball universe.
No, that is true.
And they
but
look
he
better than
resembles
Mr.
a
Popo.
He does still resemble a stereotype that maybe it could have been unintentional, but that shit looks crazy.
Now, Jinx from Pokemon.
Everyone's seen that clip from Dragon Ball Super, right? Where Trunks runs in and says, "Don't shoot, he's not black,"
Yeah, I love that.
referring to a character called Goku Black, but they don't say Goku Black. Trunks just goes, "Don't shoot, he's not black."
Oh no.
I mean, my favorite character in Dragon Ball is Goku Colombian. But it's neither here nor
The Narcos theme plays.
Yeah. So, anybody or actors that they want to go down the entire filmography of and question some of the.
Can I please? I don't mean to be interrupted, but there's one thing we must talk about, and I want you all to watch the trailer.
Mhm.
It's very cringe, but like you have to. It's required to like knowledge because it's so horrible that I need you guys to know about it. Hold on, I'm gonna find
Okay.
I'm gonna find the trailer and share it and see if we can. Maybe some of you can watch it at least.
Oh no!
It's fucking terrible and it's cringe.
No, if
but,
I
like,
know what he's talking about.
Andy, you probably know. Hold on.
I spend like 9 hours a day with this guy. I don't know what he's talking about.
It's a kind of from a couple of years ago, probably or last year, but
Oh my
oh, it's so horrible. Have you guys?
god!
What?
You must watch this in Movie Dumpster. I'm sorry, you must.
Ah, Loquisha!
Yeah, that
It's
was the
like-
cringiest thing.
The trailer makes me go. Not even the trailer. Just this thumbnail is like making me tug on my
Mhm.
fucking collar. Like
No,
Jesus
no,
Christ!
I remember one time, like the trailer just popped up on YouTube one day, and then like it fucking like people were like, "Holy shit, this is a real thing."
But it says astonishing and completely unexpected with no citation for who said that in the beginning of the movie. It has to be good.
It's
I've
also
gotten
funny-
gotten more
it's funny-
citation than that.
The
I'm-
white guy
Yeah.
in the movie, he wrote, directed, and like produced it.
No.
I'm sure it handles the
So you know it's
delicate
tasteful.
situation of race relations in America currently
no.
in a very
Oh, you know, now
good
that we're down this rabbit hole, I kind of want to talk about a movie we watched for Movie Tips real quick because it kind of runs along these same lines. It was called The Holiday Switch, and it was a Lifetime movie or a Hallmark
God.
movie.
Oh, Arlen
It's
will
about
know
this.
about this.
It's about this woman who
Oh,
like
fuck
hates
you.
her fucking family. She wants to be rich and wants those material goods, and then at some point crawls through a portal in her dryer and comes out the other side married to her rich high school sweetheart. She's got shitloads of money, but everything is miserable, and this woman isn't happy with anything for 90 straight minutes. It's fascinating.
Is there like a race swap?
No, but like it's all
That's a sequel.
yeah. No, but there is a Spanish maid who is on the other end of this fucking Flashpoint-esque portal. Who she's being a nice woman, and this rich woman's like, whatever, get me things.
What'd she make? What'd she make?
What did she make?
Spanish maid. What?
Oh my god!
All right, we need to-
No, I didn't expect dad jokes from you. I think.
Okay, so through the trailer, I clicked onto the Loquisha Amazon page, and it showed me the lead actor and director and other things that he's in that are on Prime. And one of them is a movie called The Test. And this is the summary. Hilarious film about the dangers of commitment, love, and marriage. And what if you could know you chose the wrong mate before it was too late? Because that all made sense in the English language, right?
Fuck.
I'm looking at the thumbnail now, the film itself, LaQuisha, and
Yeah.
the fuck. The fuck.
These movies are both available on Prime, so guys, if you need something to get drunk to,
I've
watch.
never been happier not having Prime.
I use that today
Oh,
to
you
watch
will.
Scorpion's Revenge. So, which is, by the way, is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good. It's fine. It's good to have a great Mortal Kombat movie finally. It's super graphic. It's insanely violent. I think it's more violent than the games have ever been.
Oh no!
It's really, really fucking good, and I kind of put it same levels like Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, as far as what it's doing with who. It's really fucking good. Everybody should watch it if you like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
I don't know. I'm. It's been a long time since I've seen the Street Fighter movie, but I'm kind of at the point now where my memories of it are like,
I go back and revisit it every once in a while. It's still fucking good. The Chun-Li fight scene is one of the best
Yeah. I remember
sequences I've ever fucking seen.
But that's the thing. I feel like everybody gets a hard one for that, and like they forget about the fact that like everything else kind of gets thrown to the wayside. Like,
Well, no, it's like Guile and Zangief. Like they're not really things, but like you get a big giant spotlight on Ryu, Ken, and Bison, and it's really, really good.
I know, but I wanted my boy E Honda to get a little bit more time. Like he gets that one fight with Ryu.
Hey, he tackles Balrog off a cliff.
You can't make a good movie with E Honda. I hate to say it. I love E Honda. You
You're
cannot.
full of shit.
You
You're full of
you
shit.
cannot make an hour movie with E Honda.
I will
He
agree
did.
to disagree with you.
Eric's like, I'm gonna go Hollywood right now with a pitch about an E Honda origin story.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it'll fail spectacularly.
Well, just like all the other Street Fighter live action movies.
Yeah, you're not wrong, and I'm sad about it, but you're not wrong.
We are gonna do the Street Fighter movie. It's
That's not a bad.
we were kicking around the idea of doing Legend of Chun-Li, but no.
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 That's a bad movie, but it's also like I think it'd be a fun thing to make fun of.
Yeah,
That's definitely
yeah.
got a lot of material to make fun of.
that'd be fun for like a commentary or something, or
I
just
would
hanging
just be
out.
mad watching it, honestly.
You got the guy from the
I'd be
Black Eyed
mad up
Peas
until
movie.
up until the point where he tears the woman's heart out, to like
It's
gain
fucked up. I don't
eternal
remember.
life or
This,
something?
yes, this is Scottish M. Bison, by the way. We're talking about.
Neil McDonough
wait.
is his
Yeah.
name, and Bison. Yeah.
Wait, there's a point where he
Fuck
tears
yeah.
someone's heart out.
It's
Like-
part of his backstory is he tore his wife's heart out to get
Yeah.
to
They
get powers?
fuck up Bison's psycho power. And
Yeah,
they took extra steps to fuck up his origin.
It's
Instead,
weird how
like-
they went out of their way to fuck it up.
But no, the weirdest thing about it is that, like, hey, it's a video game. It's already weird and wacky, right? 'Cause, but it's like,
Yeah.
hey, let's make it wacky in a different way. Like, why? Just embrace the game. Like,
Also, he's like M. Bison in that movie is a Scottish real estate mogul
Yeah.
yeah.
Weird.
or something. Like his scheme is property or something along those lines. And then like he got his powers in a cave by like ripping out his wife's heart and like eating a baby or some shit like that. I don't know. It's really really
Also,
contrived.
Nice.
The guy who
Yeah,
plays
so-
Charlie. The guy who plays Charlie is that weird like BC actor.
Oh,
I can't remember his
it's
name.
Chris Klein.
Yeah. Chris Klein.
So basically, you're telling me that that Bryan Singer took notes from this movie on when he did Superman Returns.
Yeah, sure.
It'd be weird because it came out afterwards.
Yeah,
Oh,
one of the
God, it
guys
did?
from the Black Eyed
Yeah, no, this
Peas
is
used to
afterwards,
make
yeah.
a-
Oh no!
Well, yeah, and they strip out all the Street Fighter stuff from what I could
Yeah.
tell. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
they just make the character. It's like one of those. A lot of movies do this where it's like it's based on something, but they don't make it anything like that. So it's like, why is it
Yeah.
even based on?
It solely focuses on it's Christian Crook from Smallville as
Yeah.
Chun-Li, and then like the only characters who are in are like Balrog, Vega, Bison, Gen, I guess, like one of the older characters from like Alpha and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's it. And Charlie.
Michael Clark Duncan as Balrog?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rose-
He's,
Well,
he's,
no.
not,
in
he's
the
probably not
movie.
really terrible. It's just a weird like I don't know. It's
Why,
a weird use of a good actor.
why aren't you focusing on the fact that it's Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas playing
Yeah.
Vega?
No,
Oh, I already
yeah.
knew that.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all want to know something crazy about the Black Eyed Peas?
What's that?
All right, so the Filipino guy in that group, not the one you think it is.
Is it
Apple
Apple
Diap.
Diap?
Yeah, it's Apple Diap.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
black and
but-
Filipino.
oh, you mean the guy who doesn't really do anything? It seems ever since they got
He
Fergie in.
does.
Yeah.
He gets the water. I'm kidding. I don't know. He does.
He counts out the jelly beans to make sure they're all right
He
color.
orders the food. He orders the food when they're recording.
Exactly, Yeah. Yeah. He
The guy
makes
could
a
order mean
cameo.
pizza.
oh wow. Okay, so I'm looking on IMDb for Street Fighter Legend and Chun-Li. They changed who the characters are in Japan, like
Mhm.
completely.
Well,
Wait,
that's because in the
the game.
original, the game, in localization, they switched that around.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because Balrog was originally M. Bison as a play on Mike Tyson.
Mike Bison, like Mike
Mhm.
Tyson.
Yeah, and then M. Bison was
Vega.
named Vega, and there was another switch, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Everybody,
Balrog was,
Vega was
I think Vega was called
yeah.
Balrog. Yeah.
So
and
Bison
Bison
is
was
Vega
also
in
the
this
dictator
movie.
for a little bit.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's weird.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Speaking of, well, no, never mind. That's no bearing on anything. Disregard
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Where are you going with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I've had 2 rum and cokes. Give me a break.
I've had no alcohol because I wanted to be alert on the show.
I'm stone cold sober, baby. I'm already weird.
Your body's a
Yeah.
temple.
Hey Hunter, you excited for that Monster Horror movie coming out?
No.
Yeah, are you excited as I was for that King Arthur movie from a couple years ago? Are you?
No, in
I
fact,
honestly like that movie, King Arthur, but I mean, I don't think.
Wait,
it's-
the Guy Ritchie one?
Yeah, I loved it.
I actually watched it recently and I didn't hate it. I was.
I can see
actually
why people
surprised.
don't like it. I don't think it's for everyone, but
It
Yeah,
was just,
my-
it was just
yeah.
boring. It was
Yeah.
just boring.
it is
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
some ways. I don't know. I like it.
In places it's boring. In places I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I of course my problems were all stuff that had to do with history, so I'm not even
Yeah, but
gonna
it's
go
a
into
fictional
it.
story anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly.
but it's like-
exactly.
But no,
It is a
okay.
weird thing in like this decade to be like, you know what we need? You know what people want? Arthur
King.
movie.
Okay, on the
Motherfucking
so on
Arthur.
his on the fake story thing, this is I agree with you 99% of the time, but then they bring in things that make me think that they think it's real, where
Mm.
that's
Oh no.
like where I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, there were not Vikings when King Arthur was a person, or in a world where there was a
No,
King
I
Arthur
think they were.
figure.
I think they were. I think they were trying to like
Flavor
Yeah,
text?
kind of like make it more relatable to the world we know, but I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, but it's, like, it's really small stuff.
You're saying it pulls an apocalyptica.
Well, also, like, I don't know when the movie's supposed to take place. Actual King Arthur's 5th century. I don't care if you want to say, well, this is King Arthur in the 12th century or whatever. If you want to pick a different century, fine. But you got to pick one. And this movie decides to just do everything.
Samurai kick the door down.
It's like it's 18th century England and it's 7th century England at the same time, and that bothers me.
It's that episode of Doctor Who where all of time is happening at the same time.
Kind of in parts, but it's just England.
You have a point, but you weren't there like I was in the 17th century.
Yeah, but
it's in the For Honor cinematic universe where a bunch of weird gods pick everybody up.
The god of Blade, whatever her name is, gathers a bunch of like ancient civilizations.
Also, they call themselves England, and no.
Yeah, it was Honky Land back then.
Exactly, that's what it was. But yeah, there was no. That's the problem that I had with the Assassin's Creed trailer, also, which is that he calls it England. There was no England. There was the Saxon Kingdom.
What's it called?
It's there's so many. Wessex, Essex, Sussex,
Cyrodiil.
Yeah, they didn't have like a name for it. It was the Isle of Britain, but there were so many different kingdoms. So I had a real problem with like. I will be the king of England. You'll be the king of a thing that doesn't exist yet. That you'll do that anachronistic thing. Yeah. But here's the thing: like it's all that stuff where I know
it's also kind of alternate.
On Earth.
Assassin's Creed is kind of like alternate history, but at the same time, inspired by real history. You know?
Yeah, and I'm more
Assassin's Creed. The Hashishim didn't exist in the way, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was.
Here's the thing with Assassin's Creed now is that for a long time they were very like these are historical based games, and then Origins rolls around to like, nah, there's fucking magic and gods and whatever the fuck. Who cares?
But the Hashishim existed, but they didn't exist like forming other groups in other countries like the way in the games. You know, it was just in.
And with Assassin's Creed, I like most people don't know this shit. Like I don't expect people to know all of this stuff, so it's like whatever. And it's not. They're not the only ones doing the Viking era to have like England to be a term that people use. So I kind of give them a little bit of slack for that.
Well, and Connor, to touch on what you said about Origins with there being magic and gods and whatnot, they hand wave that away by saying like, oh, there's a glitch in the programming, and this is
it's a really quick excuse to have like empowered weapons and like
and have you fight like Osiris.
You're riding a chocobo, and here's fight a giant cobra.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can fight Anubis, and
that was the most immersion shattering moment ever when I'm playing Origins and randomly came across this like I don't know, it was like a pyramid or something. Walk inside, and there's a Final Fantasy 15 character in a crystal. Bahamut flies down, rescues him, and then I'm given a bunch of Final Fantasy weapons. I'm like,
that's amazing.
When did this happen in history?
that fucking sounds sick.
Yeah, dude, you didn't learn in social studies class about Bahamut and the Phoenix Down.
I didn't learn about Prince Noctis.
Yeah. Dude, I used that weapon through most of the game too. Because
that shit was overpowered as hell.
It was great.
Fucking great. Yeah,
it was great.
I'm gonna go back and play Origins again now. Once I fucking 100 Odyssey.
God, why? Why would you do that? That's madness.
Well, no, I did get I bought the DLC since it was on sale. So that's part of why I'm going back.
If I'm not mistaken, weren't people? You know how people are always outraged when there's like black people in fiction? Like, oh my god, there's black people in Egypt.
You mean
absolutely.
You guys exist generally.
You should be
right.
But like, weren't people mad about Assassin's Creed Origins, where it's like, oh, he's black, but then it's like.
I'm not sure about that one, but there was definitely people who were screaming about the gay marriage in Odyssey, and they were like, Greeks didn't believe in gay marriage; they believed in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't even born.
They didn't believe in somebody who wasn't born for another 400 years.
People
Oh
were
my God.
beholden to the idea that the Spartans and Greeks were all God-fearing Christians who would
And they were
never have
totally straight.
same-sex
It's like,
relationship.
nope. Cut to Spartans having older Spartan men having assigned gay young boyfriends who were
Yeah.
there
Oh no,
to.
that was taken out of context.
No, but that's the thing. It wasn't even a matter of them being gay. It's just it is what it
It's a
is.
normal-
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'm
it
going to
was,
be in a boat with you for 6 months, so
Yeah,
hey.
in this
Yes,
specific
yeah, somebody's
situation, the
getting-
idea was that they will become close. Like that was the whole
Yes.
point. Was like
Relationship in the
these-
battlefield would help them survive, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be so
Damn, that's
intimate
hot.
with each other that they'll like do whatever they can to save their partner. And,
I'm looking for some love like that.
yeah,
Like me and Arlen.
yeah, exactly. That's
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like people they don't understand history. That's part of why I had a problem with the King Arthur thing. Is I think people do think of history that way. They think everything before like 1900 happened within one 100-year period, and it was just all happening at the same time.
It's a hell of a century. Just boom, clash, bang every 2 days. Like,
Yeah, and it's like things happened a lot slower than that and over a longer period of time, and a lot of people just don't understand it.
we're going to begin the Crusades. We have won the Crusades.
Exactly.
Wait, you're telling me the general public doesn't understand things like reciprocity of time and things like that,
Right.
kind of like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know what it is though?
Yeah.
I think the reason why those movies are inaccurate is not because of that. I think it's just because whoever's writing it doesn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's also
Yeah.
the case. Well,
Well,
like
that and they want flavor text. Like they just they want it to look cool. Like
Yeah.
and
yeah.
they want to be able to pull this thing and this thing and this thing that might not be historically accurate, but they
You know
look
that,
cool for the time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
telling me chocobos aren't real?
Yes.
Well,
They're
like,
real, they're
so
real.
for example, Highlander, not Highlander, Braveheart. Like they're
Mhm.
wearing 1700s clothing. Like the
Mhm.
Scots weren't wearing flannel yet. They weren't wearing patterns like that.
Aren't they also using weaponry that wasn't really in the area? Or at least
No.
I know in 13th Warrior, Antonio Banderas' character makes a scimitar, but like that
Yeah.
weapon wasn't used in that part of the world where he's from. But
No,
it's
yeah,
familiar
that-
to that. But it's familiar to audiences. They're like, oh, I know that thing.
Yeah, it's a thing that we associate with that sort of cultural area
Yeah.
during a certain period of time.
Oh, wait,
That's
Antonio
what we
Banderas
do.
is the most interesting choice to play a Muslim I've ever seen.
As much
Yeah.
as watching that movie, the movie's kind of weird. I just really enjoy the fact that it's like, oh, this like guy who's like this Middle Eastern guy and these Vikings we're working together. It's just kind of a funny concept. I liked it.
I love that movie, especially the scene where he's learning their language.
Mhm,
So it's just that montage of them like speaking, Norse, and then suddenly like English bleeds in, so you kind of learn along with him.
Yeah.
That movie's great.
Mhm,
The
it's
ending
pretty
is
cool, yeah.
fucking bizarre, but I also heard that like the ending is reshoot after reshoot after reshoot, and they did it all in like a day.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's apparently like a director's cut of that movie out there somewhere. It's like 3 hours long.
Somewhere. John McTiernan stole it before he went to prison. So yeah.
I was gonna say one thing.
No,
though,
I know. Oh yeah, go ahead.
That Harry Tubman movie that came out recently. There's something that's inaccurate about that, where they created a character who didn't exist. It was like a black guy who was a slave who was like going against Harriet Tubman.
Oh,
But it's weird that like, why would you make that a character? Like he was like helping the slave masters and like.
What?
Because Hollywood need a bad guy in those movies, and that's the easiest way to fucking do it.
yeah.
It's just like a weird like, hey, let's make up a sinister black guy character who's like not.
Yeah.
It's
So
weird.
did
You ever see
watch-
Django? Remember Sam Jackson's
That's
character?
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Did they watch Django Unchained? They're like, yeah, that works. Let's do that.
You have to
Yeah,
really
sure.
try to be as despicable as Sam Jackson in that movie. He is deplorable.
Oh man,
Yeah.
he's really good.
Well, I
that
thought I had
pretty
read that he actually had like specific makeup he was wearing to make himself a
Older.
different skin tone than everybody else in the film. If I remember correctly.
I know that.
Wait, which
Yeah.
one in Django?
Yeah, in Django.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Well, they aged him up, so
Well, I know they
Yeah.
aged him up, but I mean specifically like just his pigmentation. Like he wanted to have a different color than everybody else in the film.
So
Mhm.
kind
And
of like he stands out.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I think, and I might be incorrect, but I could have sworn I'd seen him talking in an interview saying he wanted to look more like Uncle Ben than anybody else in the movie.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Might be incorrect, but I could have sworn there was something along those lines said.
Yeah, that sounds like this kind of thing that QT would do. The kind of
Yeah.
choice that he would support. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then drop some terrible things that he would say at a public
Right.
public speech. Yeah.
Mhm.
God damn,
Yeah.
that fucking acceptance speech where he says that ghetto is one of the funniest and most awkward things I've ever seen because like the audience is like, ooh.
My favorite is the radio interviews that he'll do for stations with a mostly black audience. And he'll just completely change his tone of voice and the way that he says words. Like he'll just change into this different person. It's really interesting every time I've seen.
Discord needs to fix
clips
their
of it.
shit.
Yeah, they do.
That
Discord
was
likes to
even
start bucking
Can we
us
go back
off
to
the longer we
Skype?
go.
We- Andy,
Right now, we'll just
you
all
don't
ship.
even want. You don't even want. To, you don't even want to know. You don't. You
the
don't want to know.
nightmares. Yeah.
The
The thing is, we've
hangout
had
days.
no problems on Skype with Movie Dumpster. I don't know what it is.
It's because
It's just a better platform.
no,
Is
it's
No,
Well, it's because the curse of Andy Sites. We already figured this out. It was
Right,
saying
yeah.
it weird.
Is Andy sponsored by Skype?
yeah.
No.
big Skype coming in.
Cut to Bill Gates handing Andy a check.
Yeah, he's trying to get us all vaccinated.
Standing outside your window going, good boy.
Well, is there anything else pressing that anybody wants to bring up this up?
I think so. I think we could probably get our own way out of here.
Yeah, we're over 90 minutes now. So I
This
think-
was exactly as unhinged and chaotic as I expected it to be.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
You're listening to the
Yeah.
Quiet Storm, baby.
I do have one last thing, and I won't say any details, but if you're watching, if you're on Amazon and you're clicking through and you see the movie Gallipoli come up, and you're like, "Huh, I want to watch pre-racist Mel Gibson in a movie," you know, and you're like, "I'm sure this will be a good time. I'm sure nothing about this movie could break my soul at the end." Know that movie will break your soul at the end. So that's
yeah.
all I'll say.
I'd
Because I don't want to
like
give away with the ending.
I'd like to put one correction there, Arlen. Saying pre-racist Mel Gibson, he was always racist. He was always
Mhm.
racist. They
Probably.
just
It's his secret. He's always racist.
Most likely, but this is how I'm separating in my head so that I can continue to watch Road Warrior, Eric.
Wow.
So yeah.
fair enough.
I just go into a fugue state where I imagine he's Tom Hardy and everything's fine.
I also like that.
The movies
Yeah.
that came out before he said that shit, I can kind of
Yeah.
watch for some
Yeah.
reason, but the newer stuff, it's weird. It's awkward to watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only
Yeah.
thing that I can really give a pass to is Apocalypto because that's actually
It's
really
a good
good.
movie. I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable that he directed it. I'm like, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to like his movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like a phenomenal film, and I really don't want to like it as much as I do, but it's
Mhm.
really fucking good.
Mhm. Yeah. You watch anything newer, and it's like, oh, I can hear him telling his wife what he wants to happen to her, and no, thank you, no, thank
Mhm.
you. I'm gonna not watch that movie.
And
So
it
yeah.
probably doesn't help that his dad was also a Holocaust denier. So
Oh, his dad. If you don't know anything about Mel Gibson's father, gigantic piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like he left. He moved out of America to avoid getting drafted into Vietnam, which is the best thing that he's ever done, as far as I'm concerned. That's for me the most morally upright thing that he's done in his life. Because his problem was that he did not like Vatican II, which was a giant reformation of the Catholic Church.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes, that made the Vatican that we have today, because before they were much worse. And he liked the much worse version of the Vatican.
Just like
He
New
wanted to go
New
back to
Coke?
that.
Vatican
Yeah,
II.
exactly. Yeah. So that's why he moved to Australia, so that he wouldn't have to fight in Vietnam, among many other things. And like you said, utter Holocaust denier. The reason for Mel Gibson's shitty opinions on Jews. So
Wasn't there an interview where he kind of said, "I know my father wouldn't lie to me."
something
It's
like
kind of a
that.
weird,
Ooh.
thing to say.
Something along those lines. Yeah. Anyways, did not mean to bring us into this area before we left off, but just wanted to warn people about the movie Gallipoli. And that's it. I think we're good to go.
Then I'm
Oh,
gonna
can I say one
restrict
thing?
my. Oh,
No.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I keep bringing up. I saw that Arlen was watching Den of Thieves. What do you think about that? Like that movie.
Den of Thieves is great.
It's pretty wild. It's fucking intense.
It's insane, that movie. That 20-minute action scene at the end is fucking
Yeah.
bonkers.
It just fucked me up. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like they're just shooting people.
Yeah, and Gerard Butler plays one of the craziest characters I've ever seen on screen. He in order to get info on one of the bank robbers, he goes to his wife's strip club and he has sex with her to get into his house. And also just as like a dick measuring thing. It's fantastic. This is after going to his shooting range that he goes to, and like, you know.
Also, like fucking Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. He gets fucking like they do horrible shit to him in that movie. Like thinking that he's like an undercover and they like fucking pull a gun on him and almost like waterboard him or some shit. I can't remember. I don't know.
I think they're gonna dip him in a barrel of acid at one point.
Yeah, or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah.
Good movie. 2 hours and
shit.
20 minutes. It's very much
Pretty
like a Heat thing.
It's like Heat, but mixed with like Call of Duty and Army of Two or something.
Yeah.
It's
Perfect.
So fucking intense shit.
I see 50 Cent put on all the weight that he lost for that movie that failed miserably about the cancer guy.
You know what's a weird thing about 50 Cent? He's a really good actor. Like he can be a really like there's certain movies I've seen him in where it's like holy shit, he's a good actor.
He actually is very good in this. Yeah, he's.
Well, you know, I can see naturally transitioning to something that like that because he's always been an amazing businessman, regardless of what people might think of him.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it makes sense that he could be like, all right,
he's smarter
let's
than
do
he
this.
seems. Like
Yes.
he seems like he's just a gangster rapper, but he's a smart business dude. Like
Well, no, I think that was just like, all right, this will make me money. Let's portray this. Like
50 Cent is a better businessman than Donald Trump.
Yes, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
shut up.
just that whole thing about like when he was selling his one album, he accepted Bitcoin, and like when Bitcoin had that boom, and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had all that, and he like had like over $5 million in Bitcoin, something ridiculous like that, where he's just like, oh yeah, you know, whatever.
Or didn't he also partially owned, or did he fully own the vitamin water, and then he like sold it
partially
for
owned.
like, so much money?
Yeah, partially owned, and he sold it for a ridiculous sum of money. Yeah, like no, dude has some ridiculous business acumen. Like I was shocked to find out all this stuff.
Yeah, because I was like, holy shit, I would have never like thought to buy fucking vitamin water.
No, like I only ever thought like he had like a flavor named after him for whatever like promotional period. But yeah, like that was completely because he had a partial ownership of it. So.
I think like the news of him owning it kind of like drove up the sales, maybe.
Yeah,
it's kind of like almost a publicity thing where it's like, oh, he's making it more popular, and then he's gonna sell it. It's like,
yeah, and I think shortly after he sold it is when it fell, and it's not nearly as popular as it used to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, got my money.
Yep. See ya. Yeah.
Yeah. Clever motherfucker.
Yep.
It's a
we should all be like
path I wasn't ready for.
This is the 50 Cent podcast. Yeah.
I mean, hey, getting shot that many times fucking makes you like, you know what?
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe I need to figure out something.
Maybe I should make only good decisions.
Not to spoil Den of Thieves, but that's the most inaccurate part of the movie. How many times he gets shot, and
Well, maybe if this movie does well, there'll be a remaster of Blood on the Sand.
Yeah.
Oh God, we can only hope.
Please.
Or actual sequel.
Motherfucker piece of fucking shit.
Gotta get that Damien Hirst diamond covered skull.
Were there two Blood on the Sands? Okay, that's a different topic.
No, that's bulletproof. We'll talk about
The
that.
50 Cent game was just bulletproof, and then there's Blood in the Sand.
Yeah.
All right. I've been Conor McGraw. Go listen to Movie Dumpster. Plug. We
I'm
got the
also Conor
torrent.
McGraw.
Oh no.
I'm also Conor McGraw.
I'm Conor
This is-
McGraw.
Also
This is-
Conor
and-
McGraw. Look
And this
at
is the episode
me.
that
I'm
Hitler's head is going to
Connor.
explode.
I'm sorry.
This is pretty par for the course. I'm not.
Wow. Did Hunter fall asleep?
No, I'm still alive.
Oh, okay, cool.
No,
I just have-
you
sound
mean did
like
Hunter
you're
fall
for a
awake?
second.
No, I'm still alive.
He just put his brain back in his stomach.
Well, Batman.
Leave him alone. That's all.
Shredder just contacted him with an update on how Bebop and Rocksteady did on
Leave the Colossus of Davenport alone.
Oh, the odds did not rain in my brain right now.
Arlen,
Okay,
you
where
have any
were we?
plugs? Yeah, you're up.
Am I up? Let's see. Lost Horror Podcast. We are doing the James Bond miniseries thing.
Yeah.
Some of the people on this show are going to be on soon-ish. Sometime. And we're
Can I please be on the Views to a Kill episode? I love that.
yes. So I had to get approval from Sayor not to do too much behind the scenes to get more than one person on at a time. 'Cause
No, I
wasn't
understand.
sure if he'd be all right with that, but he's into it if people really, really want to be on. So yeah,
Mm.
And the plan is 2 movies at a time. So totally, we can have you on. We can have you
Fuck yeah.
view for View to a Kill because that's a fucking crazy ass movie. It needs to be
I
discussed.
like because I used to always watch those on cable as a kid. But then when that one came on, I was like, wait, Christopher Walken and Grace Jones are villains in a Bond movie? I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Great.
Such a weird fucking. Grace Jones basically rapes Roger Moore. It's great.
yeah.
Fuck.
It's awkward. It's weird, but holy shit.
It's very awkward because Roger is very old and Grace Jones is Grace Jones and
She's
yeah.
strong as fuck.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, so Lost Horror Podcast, new episodes. I think new episodes coming out tomorrow morning. It'll be up by the time people listen to this, so check it out.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hunter. Hunter?
Okay. It's America's Boyfriend, Hunter Davenport.
You don't call me?
Not flying, but don't worry about it. Don't follow me on social media.
Follow him in real life, literally. Just
Yeah.
follow him.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cross state lines.
I was recently on Secret Sessions. That's a great podcast. You go check that out.
Hunter's daddy.
Got nothing.
I had fun in that a long time ago. It's pretty fun.
Great podcast.
Great people.
Yeah.
I'm Eric Fedorchak. You can find me at Eric_Fedor on Instagram. Twitch Dog and Cats and Food and Comics.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Fedorchak?
Yeah, because I never knew how to do that. I was like, is it?
No,
Fedorchak? I don't
It's
know.
cool.
The-
It's cool.
The
Don't worry about
Polish?
it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
Of
Yep.
course it's
Sound
Polish.
Like
Of course it's
fourth generation in America.
Open up a book.
I'm floating around the Phantom Zone, doing the things, talking about stuff, or maybe not, whatever. Everybody should go over and join that if they feel like doing whatever the fuck they're doing with their lives right now. Yeah, just be nice. Fucking don't.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your
Yeah.
hands. Don't be an
Or
asshole. Or don't. Yeah,
Or do.
and let nature take its course. Like, if you're gonna go out, wear a fucking mask. Nobody's.
Bye, Grandma.
Listen, everyone be nice.
Yeah, I work in a hospital. Like, the shit's real. Like, stop. Just stop believing the bullshit
Wait,
that
no.
some dude who didn't graduate high school is telling you. What?
Eric, I heard that hospitals are getting paid for COVID patients.
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard too.
Yep.
Sake.
Yep, they are. Yep, they are. We're just rolling in it. Like, dude, I paid off my mortgage 2 days ago with all that COVID money. Yeah, it's great.
It's
Yeah.
big medicine, huh?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Big
Just
hospital coming in.
rolling in it. Just rolling in it all day, every day. Just Cristal and fucking Moe. Just
And
every
the
day.
part is COVID fake, so
I'm so bored with money. I'm burning it at this point. But yeah,
Big-
Haven't you
big
guys ever
hearings.
thought about how Corona is also the name of a beer?
Oh,
my God.
brother.
The cure is the
Oh,
mind.
brother, this guy stinks.
regardless, be nice. Wear a fucking mask unless you're a monster, and then don't wear a mask and die. There you go.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
everyone, please be as nice as you can. But when it's over, we're eating the rich and overthrowing the government. So
Yes,
just
Yeah,
wait, wait.
sharpen those guillotines. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
it's and
Yeah.
please, if you are like getting takeout or anything like that, fucking thank those people because they're
Yeah.
more
Absolutely.
exposed. They're
Yeah.
more exposed to that shit than I am, and I work in a
Don't
hospital.
Yeah.
touch their hands for sure. But
And if
No.
you can't see them face to face, tip them. Tip
Yes.
them hard.
Yes.
And if you do have to go out and have sex with someone, wear the mask and gloves and a condom and only do anal.
Or
Don't look in the
body
face because then you're.
Well, no, you gotta do like a what is it, Naked Gun 33 and a half or whatever, where he's got the body.
Yeah,
they got
the
the body
full
condoms
body.
on.
Just if you are gonna go have sex though, don't lick the booty hole because that's how you're getting
Yeah.
COVID. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it's
yeah.
transferring.
Yeah.
That's listen.
Yeah. Also, send us
There's no
emails
point in
about,
telling me that because that's not good. That's not.
That's your
I'm not.
bread and
I'm
butter.
not quitting that no matter what.
He's like,
Also, as an Asian myself, you should fear Chinese people. They are sneaky. They. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They're great. Go to your
Don't.
local Chinese restaurant. They fucking need tons of help. They're going through a rough time. Them especially.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just joking about
yeah.
the
About everything.
Also, as I want to say, as a black person, I want to leave this planet as soon as possible. Aliens, come get me.
You want to pull
Also,
a
I
coochie.
also
Yeah.
want black people to
We
leave
do
the
that.
planet. That was good.
Yeah,
That's
we're
it.
this shitty planet.
We can
We're gonna
pinpoint the
have-
exact moment we were canceled.
Planet Wakanda, and you're not invited.
That is up there with Schindler's List too, man. That's right there.
No way.
Schindler's List, the animated series.
Oh my god. Good night, everybody.
Wait, hold on. I'm not invited to Wakanda too.
No, you're not.
Andy, Isaiah,
But-
do you guys have any
With the
plugs you want-
cookout.
Oh yeah, plugs. Play video games with me on the internet. I don't know. I don't really have anything to plug besides.
Okay. Well, do you have a Twitter? Do you have anything like that? Do you want to?
I do. It's the_Isa, I think, on
Mhm.
Twitter.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Honestly,
Andy,
I do want to be Twitter famous, so everybody follow me and shit. Tell your,
Do it.
your parents and boomer family. Like everyone follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, so they can have quality tweets before they all die.
Mhm.
If I can like only be Twitter famous and then die, I'd be happy. I'm like, at least I got that kind of fame.
There you go. Oh,
Damn.
nice.
Yeah.
Andy,
Yeah,
do you
you
have
gotta
anything you want to plug?
I want to reiterate that I was just kidding around with things I said earlier. If it was problematic, I was kidding.
Oh, listen, Al Sharpton's gonna hear about this.
Yeah, just having a good fun time. Support Asian businesses, wear a mask. I co-sign whatever Eric said.
Yeah. Don't camp in Call of Duty anymore. Camping.
Yeah. If you're gonna,
God, this is fucking agony. Let's get the fuck out.
you can follow me. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at AndySitz117, at ANDYSITZ117. Hit me up. I got hot jokes, hot takes, hot memes, hot babes, hot me. Keep it locked. Oni slash that like button.
And
Nah, I'm done. I don't got it.
All right.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
say
Yeah.
hello, your mother for me.
Yeah.
Say hello, your